5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve. This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on!
Wow. Hey, everybody. Look at that. It wouldn't be a Live with Neve show without some kind of technical foibles. So, everyone, I am sitting here. I'm wearing my shirt celebrating Desert Storm. Yes, that's right. Way back when I was in college, the attack on Kuwait with Bush the Elder. We're just wearing that because it's a strange piece of clothing. I found it in a thrift store many moons ago. Any rate, I'm just sitting here getting checked out. I'm going to look at to see if there's anything worth poking fun at. We're going to stay out of any of the stuff that everybody else is talking about, which includes just the endless crusade of news about wars. And I'll briefly touch on it. I'll see if I find anything here worthy of ridicule. Got my friend Bill Puig here today. He's lurking in the back room in a basement somewhere. And we'll get to that. I guess I will talk about this because this is just worth laughing about. Don Lemon gets arrested. I'll hold my tongue about Mr. Lemon. I think he's a nice bunch of fellas, how I'll describe it. Let's see. Bill Gates caught an STD from some Russian girls. Boy, they're really scratching the bottom of the news feed today. Okay. How's everybody sleeping with all this warfare and craziness going on out there? If you're out there and you're watching, it's still early. I know show's been off the air for a while. I've talked to so many of my friends, and a lot of them are like having sleeping problems because of the war and politics, and they're freaking out. And, all I'm going to say is I'm 64 years old. Politicians come and they go. And they'll tell us what they're going to do and everything's going to be so great. And they come and go. And that's it. So just chill the fuck out, You gotta live your life and have some modicum of happiness, Be happy. Don't be a chump out there sitting there miserable. Right or left. Quit being a putz. Hey, look who's here. Hello. Good evening. Got a couple of folks wandering in. Hi. Peace, love, and personality. There you go. So Springsteen is heading to Minneapolis for an anti-ICE performance. That's not noteworthy. Let's see. I'm just going to say this about Bruce. He's just tedious, man. He's tedious, and I don't know. I have a hard time with him lecturing us on how we should vote. I say that about anybody. Don't fucking lecture me about who I vote for. I don't want to hear it. Okay, so Tulsi Gabbard, Fulton County jail raid, blah, blah, blah. OnlyFans is in talks to sell a majority stake to an investment firm. It's the monetization of sex, man. God almighty. It's not that it hasn't been done everywhere else, but 1 in 4 couples have sex once a month or less. Exhaustion, the primary reason. Men, it's like I get these ads all the time because I'm a seasoned citizen. We're loading up on testosterone. My problem isn't like not enough testosterone. It's just like you don't want to get arrested. Too much testosterone, then you go psycho. I know, when I was a young guy. Some would say it didn't ever change, but the best news we've got here is that Bill Gates caught a sexually transmitted disease from Russian woman. Oh, I gotta love it. At least that gives us something we can poke fun at. Bill Gates has more money than anybody, and I am sure that his talent is not cheap. I can bet you when Bill's getting his freak on, he's probably spending top dollar, and that usually guarantees I guess they would call it the girlfriend experience, but disease is not part of that. If your girlfriend gives you gonorrhea, You ain't got a you have got a girlfriend. You've got a donor or a vector, a carrier. Um, things scare me, man. That need to load up on testosterone. If it'd be like a dog chasing a fucking car, man. You grab the tire and it goes down the road. You just thump as you head. I'd bite that tire and get my head run over. So enough about all that. I've got, the show hasn't been on in a while. So if you're out there and you're going to watch for a while, comment, please. We put on Facebook an invite. If you want to come on the show, we'd love to have you. We are having stupid human tricks, but live. And so if you're out there and you have a particularly unusual habit, hobby, it could be anything. You got a great story to tell, but we welcome all callers at this point. The only topic you can't talk about is politics. I only get to do that. And why? Because I'm the host. But rather than sit here and jabber about all that stuff, um, the weather is here in the Northeast. If you're watching, is cold as hell. In fact, it's colder than a witch's tit. It's literally awful out there. I'm looking out at the river here, and it is completely frozen over. Now, I've lived out here on the water for 10 years or so, longer actually, and it has not frozen over this many times, like maybe once in the past 5 years. Yeah, it's funny. Don Lemon. Yeah, we were talking earlier. He's finally been put in stir. I wonder, like, if he had to spend the night, or did you just have somebody bond him out? I don't know. Um, that's kind of the whole funny thing. You know, it doesn't matter politically. You do stupid shit, you're gonna get caught and fucking get arrested. I don't know. I like my life too much to want to be doing any federal time. Just, he'll be the new cook in cell block 8, you know? So I'm going to bring on my cohort, partner in crime, unindicted conspirator, Mr. Bill,
Unindicted conspirator?
co-conspirator.
It's a hell of an introduction.
I'm telling you, man, it doesn't get any better than that, man. People see all the books and bases behind you, they know you're a man to be reckoned with.
Oh boy. Yeah, what you're probably seeing behind my head is the cello. That actually is a belated birthday gift for my grandson. The world's worst eBay purchase in the world. Just terrible.
No. You having to fix it and do all kinds of repairing?
It had to be repaired. I bought the cello because the seller advertised himself as being a local seller from Flanders, New Jersey. Flanders, New Jersey turned out to be somewhere on the Chinese mainland.
I know exactly. Oh, really?
Yeah, he was lying.
Flanders mailbox, and they drop shipped
I
it.
ended up getting the cello just before, literally the day before Christmas Eve, and of course it was damaged. So there was a long email battle with him as far as whether he was willing to take it back. He ultimately said he would, but then he wouldn't provide me with a mailing label to send it back. And I said, how am I going to send this back? I don't intend to send it to a place where I can't track it, because then I'm going to be out the merchandise and my money.
Mm-hmm.
So eBay got involved a couple of times. I ended up getting part of my money back. And I know enough about fixing these types of instruments where I was able to fix the problem myself. But
Very good.
Wonderful. How you doing, Rick? Haven't talked with you in a long time.
Yeah. What's new and exciting out there, buddy? What have you been up to?
Oh, no good. No good as usual.
I'm sure of that.
No, so I have several things going on in my life. There's always the band Legion of Prague. That's been going on for quite a few years, and over the last year we have had some good success. We have sort of graduated out of the seedy bars and into cabarets and into theaters. We were actually playing a theater gig tomorrow night at the Strand Center for the Arts in Lakewood.
Very nice.
We are doing a full-blown show complete with video backdrop, and for our second set we are doing a full-blown Pink Floyd tribute, including the Animals album, complete.
Oh, right. I love it. That was such a dark album. It'll be great. I wish I could get down there for that one. That sounds fun.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, those are some great songs. It's like Roger Waters was particularly depressed that year.
Oh, well, I always viewed that as the album where Pink Floyd ceased being a band and starting being Roger Waters' backing group.
Yeah. And Roger, from what I can tell, is he's a charming man.
Oh, he said with his
I'm trying to be a kinder and gentler Neil these years, but it's not going to work, I don't think. But I'm trying to contain myself. Just can't say anything good, kind of a thing. But Roger Waters is he's just a dick. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think that word sums it up well.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I say to everybody out there. If you're a band, if you're in life, don't be a fucking dick. Just get along with, some kids just don't play well with others. And that's,
I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a talk show that has been airing on the Fox News channel for about the last 5 or 6 months, featuring the comedian Jimmy Fallon.
Really? I haven't been watching it.
It's 10 o'clock Saturday night, and they re-air it again sometime in the early Sunday morning hours too. But his tagline as he leaves the air is, remember, you can be a Republican, you can be a Democrat, just don't be a dick.
There you go. Great line. I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. Most people are pretty good one-on-one. If they have some loopy ideas, they can tolerate that. To each their own. I don't care who you vote for, really. I try to just not get so worked up. The people scare me are the ones who get so vile and they're screaming at their TV sets and they're standing in front of cars and doing all the crazy shit that goes on out there. A hint, people, if you can't do the time, do not do the crime, because federal raps are incredibly hard to get out of. Look, go out and protest, have fun. Act like you're in 1966 and you're out there smoking weed and fighting with the National Guard, but it's really getting stupid, people. You don't want to hurt yourself, Well,
it really is, and the problem is twofold here. Number one is the model here isn't 1966. The model is Kent State University in 1970.
Yes, and that's what they're kind of it could happen because they're spurring things on, which is they're just doing stupid things.
Well, and of course, the thing that's really nasty about it is it's being spurred on by people in government and by
it's kind of like absurd, really, if you think about it. We got so many problems that I go back to this all the time. When you have people in business that you can't deal with, but you have to, the only thing you can do is do the things you can do. Right now, we don't do anything Republican. It's never joint. Like, we're going to get in and fucking just solve this. Pick the issues that we can agree on that are not political, folks. Fucking get in there and make workable plans. Don't be fucking sending money to each other through NGOs and shit. I believe truly we'd have enough money if we just didn't have all this theft and grift going on. And nobody's going to tell me both sides don't have tons of grift and secret. I don't know about you. Do you get any political bullshit to your email or anything?
I've done a good job of keeping that mostly filtered out. I do get some. What used to be really funny, it was in my last job, I was told that I had to carry a corporate cell phone. They wouldn't send messages to my personal cell. I had to have a corporate cell phone. And the person evidently who had the number with Verizon before I did for this phone was someone who was apparently somewhat left of Mao Zedong.
Oh,
I got all sorts of interesting left-wing text messages and whatever. It was hilarious.
Antifa signups and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh no shit, really?
Really? If you could come to this last mob at such and such location, I was like, give me a break, really?
Get the fuck out of here. Wow, that's crazy. Well, nothing surprises me. Both sides have very, very highly organized systems in place. They're mechanized. So trust me, folks, if you try to get through them, you have to do what Bill probably did, is go through laboriously and just block this shit and then not put your email address. Get some sort of a mail client that you can have when you send someone an email that you don't trust or want to talk to ever again. You just have it so it changes the return address when you send it to them. And that way you can just fucking poof them into the digital abyss. Got a pesky family member who's always up your ass. Poof. And remember, people, this feels good. Look at your friends lists. Think about how many people are really your friends on there. Half of them are a bunch of drunks in my list. I don't even know them. They never call or come by the show or do anything. So it feels good to just vaporize them, Poof.
Now, I have learned the hard way that it doesn't pay to, in a social media forum, antagonize or lock horns with someone, because
No.
it ultimately is a waste of time, because even if you convince them that you're right, they're probably going to block you anyway. So why have you spent the time?
Yes, it really isn't productive unless you have a show like we do where, sometimes I'll poke fun at people just to have a little fun and, make it interesting. The show will get boring otherwise. It's meant to be a little comedic. We're not exactly the McLaughlin group around here, when we come on.
Talking about shows, I should mention, going back to some of what I've been up to, I, of course, have my YouTube channel on progressive rock, Propaganda.
Mhm.
That is still active.
Excellent.
Up over 100 episodes aired now.
All right. People, you got to get this guy a steak dinner because he's kicking ass. We love that.
And as a result of that, I also got invited onto a local internet radio outlet. I think it's actually based in Highlands or nearby Highlands. It's called RadioGardenState.com.
RadioGardenState.com. I'm going to write that one down.
And I do a show there every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m.
What's it called again? Radio, give it one more time.
RadioGardenState, all one word, .com.
Got it.
Now, they have a whole bunch of different hosts who do general music programming, sports programming, talking about all sorts of crazy stuff. Some of them just go off the deep end and talk about whatever they want to talk about, kind of like this show. My show is typically about 2 hours worth of prog rock or progressive adjacent. What's kind of cool about that for me is on YouTube, I can't play the music, because if I play the music, I can't monetize it. The original artist takes the revenue from my program, which of course I really don't want to have happen.
Sure.
Whereas on Radio Garden State, they've got all the licenses with BMI and ASCAP and whatever else, so I can play all the music I want.
Gotcha. Very, very cool. Bravo. That sounds very cool. Well, it's always good to see you succeeding, because you got a great band and you got a great show. And I have to say, man, it's awesome. Really
Thank you. No, the band is a lot of fun. And it's kind of cool being able to play in some of the larger venues on a regular basis now, because we're not playing as many shows, but we're
better equipment.
We're doing better equipment. We're dealing with people who have real sound systems and real lighting and so forth. So it makes it
look and sound great. So good. People, if you haven't seen these guys and you like progressive rock, it's not rock and roll, it's just prog rock. If you like ELP and Styx and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, all this kind of stuff, Genesis, I go down the list. It's like I grew up with this music, and it's great stuff, and they play it excellent. The Emerson, Lake and Palmer they play is sublime. It's right on. Carnival 9, I was sitting there having a great time I saw you, and your drummer's tearing it up. He's like great player, and what can I say, peeps? If you're out there and you like this music, they play it very well, and better than anybody you've heard lately. And so I'm just saying, see this band.
Well, very and just to maybe elaborate a little bit, when we first started doing this work, we were taking the approach like, we're not going to be a tribute band as such. We're going to pay tribute to the genre and play whatever we want that is in the progressive rock mold.
Right.
And
You're not trying to dress up, and it's not like you're doing a kiss out.
oh no, 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 no,
You
no.
just do your thing. You look good. You know, you're all
Yeah.
business professional or business cash.
Yeah. But one of the challenges with that approach was promoters would come to us or venues would come to us and say, well, you guys are really good. You sound great, but I don't know if I can really book you because I have no idea how I'm going to market you because you're not a tribute band.
Right.
So we kind of found the middle ground. And
Mhm.
what we're doing now is this. For the last several months, we've been doing it the way we're going to play it at the Strand tomorrow night, which is we do the first set of assorted classic stuff that people know. And then the second set is all from one band.
Right.
The last show
right.
before this one that we're
Mhm.
playing now, the last show we did in December, we did a second set that was all Genesis and Peter Gabriel.
Right.
This one, and
Great
we'll be
stuff.
playing another one next week in Pennsylvania. The second set is Pink Floyd with the Animals album.
All
We're
right.
going to be doing new shows probably later in the spring, and I'm guessing those are probably going to be Yes themed for the second set.
Excellent. Excellent. You know, that's fun.
No
too,
other
for the
band that I
to
know
be able to
does
change
this.
it up. I mean, that's great because I know you do a lot of stuff from those bands naturally, but it's nice to have to change it up and do something cool that you loved growing up with. And I mean, it's a fun kind of a band. And I like the idea of what you're doing compared to the tribute bands that dress up and try and do it. Not that there's not some amazing, great ones out there. There are some like amazing Eagles tributes and a Styx tribute, and they're out there and they kick ass. You know, until Dweezil Zappa started playing and really kicking ass, I'll put it this way, he opened up for my band in Tampa years ago. And so I just say it's a weird world out there. You can be one moment doing something, and then Dweezil back then wasn't taken very seriously by some of his dad's fans. They could be kind of dicks, you know. They're Zappa fans. They're like, it's fucking kid, you know, he's Zappa's kid, but and I don't know. I always thought the kid he's got it going on, you know.
He's
But what
a
I was
damn
trying
good
to
guitar player.
he's gotten so good, but you know, it's like he fucking did his time and practice to get the chops to get to where he did. And you know, he's taken lessons and he studied hard, and that shit spurred him on because it's not easy to be Frank's fucking kid and come out and take that music on the road and win over critics. Critics are just critics anyway. They're assholes half the time.
Well, you do know that one person that he actually did take some lessons from was Eddie Van Halen. Dweezil and Eddie knew each other pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. You know, I thought he also took, what did it say? There's somebody else. I thought he took some lessons from Satch. Or
He might very well.
The other guy, though, Steve Vai.
Well, Vai used to play with his dad, so that's entirely possible too.
I saw him with Steve Vai on the first tour with my friend James Crocker. If you're out there watching, Jay, it was a great concert. Him and I went to several years Zappa concerts together because whenever they came, we would go. And it was always an event. And that show, we were at the Tampa High Life Fronton. It's a venue that's been bulldozed now. They don't do High Life in Tampa. It's a Latin game. You fucking whip a ball at 150 miles an hour at the other guy. Sort of like dodgeball, except you can't hit the guy. What do I say? You know,
well, it's a game that you're able to bet on in real time too.
That's right. You can make some cash fucking out. This place was all mobbed up big time, you know. And I walk in and heard Steve Vai for the first time and was like, who the fuck is this kid? He was like 19 years old and he just ripping the shredding the neck.
Oh Lord, this must have been like around 1980 or so, from what you're saying.
Yes, it was. It was. He had fucking Terry Bozzio playing on drums. Oh God, he was so good. And I love, you know, all those drummers like that. I just eat that shit up, you know. I love playing it. I used to think I have to carry a big ass drum set around to do it, and it's fun when you have a big drum set. But if you know the tunes and you can play the rhythm, you can play it on fucking anything, and it sounds great. You just got to be able to fucking do the material. You got to learn it, and that's the biggest problem that keeps people from staking and saying, "I'm going to put a prog band together. I'm going to do a Frank Zappa tribute," because it's now with Dweezil doing it. Anybody out there, save yourself some time, man. You know, I guess you can go out. Dweezil tours once every 2 years. You might get some gigs, but I think Dweezil's earned the right for the next 60 years to do his thing, his father's music and his own. He's certainly earned it, you know.
Oh, without a doubt. And he plays it
I,
exceptionally well. And he
he
attracts
does.
great musicians to his band.
And I have friends, you know, that play in his band now. We've had him on the show before, and you know, the percussionist is just unbelievably fucking great. I'm having a brain fart right now. It'll come to me in a second.
You
Rick,
talking
if
about
somebody's
Sheila?
on there watching, they can, you know, go ahead and just send me a note. Let's see any comments at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lady who
Yeah,
plays with Dweezil by the name of Sheila Gonzalez. I don't know if that's
yes,
who you're thinking of.
yeah, she's awesome. Definitely a badass.
Yeah, I've not had the opportunity to see that version of Dweezil's band, but the drummer in my band, Doug
Hmm.
Staley, actually went to guitar camp with Dweezil some years ago. So he got to meet Dweezil and
Right
Sheila
on.
and other members of the band.
Very, very cool. Oh, that sounds like a great time.
And what's really cool about this is going a couple of years fast forward. Doug
Hmm.
is a restaurateur. He owns a restaurant down in Avon by the Sea called Cave
Right.
Bistro. Um, last time Dweezil and his band came through, his band ate at Doug's because it was
All
going back to see
right.
an old friend.
Uh-huh.
So there's all
That's
sorts of
cool.
cool pictures about that.
Oh, that's great. I would, you know, that's like they have these things occasionally. Somebody will post it on X or something. Who would you like to sit down from the musical world and have brunch with or lunch with? And I'm like, God, there's so many people. Like John Bonham comes to mind. I'd probably go through all the dead guys first. Don't be offended if you're alive, man. It's just a Keith Moon. You know, we got Keith Moon. I definitely want to sit down for him. Time travel would be more fun. Like I can't drink with Keith Moon. In my younger days,
I
that would
can't
be
imagine too
delicious.
many people could.
No, I'm glad. Well, I probably could. I was a serious problem child. But that said, I'm kind of glad I didn't because, you know, money and alcoholism or drug addiction is a fucking sure way that God or whoever's above says, you got too much cash and you're being stupid. I mean, literally, I know I've seen people do this. Sometimes, you know, your best efforts, you can land on your head like that. Bonk, the head sound. Here we go. Some sound effects for you out there and wherever you're at, somewhere in Indianapolis, or if you're out there watching at the moment, tell us who you are and where you're from. If you have never watched the show before, we've been on for about 500 episodes. Some are better than others. Of late, I took a hiatus and haven't been doing it since, I don't know, a few months ago. But I am back. There will be changes. The show will start to become a 10 o'clock at night show. Haven't decided yet on the 10 o'clock on Friday or Saturday, but if you have any opinion out there, speak up. You know, tell me if you would watch the show, which night would be better. And, you know, if it's later, that's cool too. And for our guests, we will do the interviews live as we have around your schedule. The only difference is we won't broadcast it out at that time. Because I'm of the mind that we get more traction if we have more fans come on earlier. So, I mean, later, excuse me. Um, so that's it. Um, let's see. Technology wise, I've got a nice new microphone, which I'm quite happy to have. I've done some testing and listened back and forth. And this one sounds a hell of a lot better than the one on this set of headphones, which is wonky to say the least. Whoever designed these things did a great job. The headphones are cheap, they're affordable. They break because I drop them all the time and they don't break. But my point is, they're not very comfortable. But I don't know what my point is. I hate these things. They're uncomfortable, but they're cheap, and I can hear. And the mic's a piece of shit. It's much better to use a Shure project, a Shure 57. I think it's an SM57, and
Yep.
that is the broadcast variant of the SM57, which is a phenomenal snare drum mic or guitar cabinet mic, or even you can sing in them if you have, you know, if you like them. But they particularly shine as a hammer because drummers hit them routinely. and they take a licking, keep on ticking. And with that note, I'm going to play one of our guests from the past. We're going to take a pause for the cause. Let's see. We've got this cat from Ireland. We'll bring him on. Wherever you are, Darren, I hope you're doing well over in Ireland, shagging the sheep and doing whatever you folks do up there.
Like a melting flake of snow this year. I won't be sad to see it go.
Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve.
I would have said it couldn't happen here.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
They sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. I'm coming now, I'm coming.
We are the Stones of Atlantis, and you are tuned in to Live with Me.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve.
I'm Neil from Live with Neve. We have an exciting connection for our veterans, country music fans, and there is something for everyone. Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. That's right, we've partnered with Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. See you soon.
I want freaking sharks with laser beams on their fucking heads. That's too much. What do I pay people for? God damn it. I miss, in the do not be a dick department, I've heard from various sources, one of the reasons why Mike Myers doesn't get as much work as he did, it's not because he's not brilliant and excellent, because he can be a dick and nobody wants to work with him. and he hasn't been getting the offers, is what my feelers in Hollywood tell me. So I think it's kind of funny because he is kind of a prick, or he comes across that way. Never met the guy, so you never know what could be real or invented by some publicist somewhere.
Well, he has been in the public eye for so many years. I have a hard time believing that he really needs to work. I mean, he might want to, but I suspect he's got more than enough money to last him for a bit.
I would hope so. I haven't heard that. That's one theory that may be good. You never know. I would think, it's like I've noticed though, a lot of people with a lot of money, they're doing things I didn't see them do in the past, like a lot more commercials and things that, the media landscape it's difficult and fame is so fleeting, it's like it's all aimed at the young people. And as we get older and get to our age group, they're not really trying to sell to us. So
No, that is definitely true. And Mike Myers is getting to the age where, that line is kind of probably getting near if it hasn't already been crossed for him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure, he's probably, like you said, I'm sure he has plenty of money, but, the creativity that people have. The guy's a brilliant writer and director. I mean, he's a smart guy. I would think that, sometimes you just sit and get bored shitless. I have to say, even not doing the show for a while, I had some time to just take care of things I had to take care of and didn't have enough time for. It feels good to do it, though. It's fun, when something goes a little awry. I've told other people who do this kind of thing, you can't worry about it. We're here to have fun, and people are going to watch the show, and they're either going to laugh and get a couple of yucks out of it, or they might learn something when we have a great guest on. Like yourself. I mean, you've got a great show, and you're always funny, and you've got a dearth. I have to tell you, people, watch his show. If you like prog, you want to watch the show because he knows more about it. He can probably tell you what kind of bass strings Geddy Lee used. Can you?
I could make an educated guess that when he was playing Rickenbackers, he probably was using Rotosound
Rotosound, yes.
Because he was very much a disciple at that time of Chris Squire, and that's what Chris used to use.
Yep. You can hear it, too, in that slapping groove thing with his thumb, just badass. Definitely. I can hear that. Interesting.
It's actually kind of funny. You make the comment about Mike Myers and working and so forth, and two things came into my mind. The first one is, I'm trying to think when the last time was that I actually saw Mike Myers in a current motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I can think of that he appeared in, and it was basically a cameo role, was in Tarantino's movie, Inglourious Bastards. And that movie is about 18 years old now.
Gosh, that's hard to believe. Wow. What did he play in that? I don't remember his role.
He played the head of the RAF intelligence. He was the guy who enlisted,
he enlisted and gave him
infiltrate with the bastards, who ultimately ended up in the Rathskeller meeting with Bridget von Hammersmark.
Yes, von Hammersmark. Yeah. The lovely Frau Hammersmark.
Rod Taylor was in that too. He was playing Winston Churchill. I think that was the first role he'd had in years.
Wow, he was very good at it. It's quite good.
Yeah.
The one thing I thought about that movie that was a little weird was,
the whole concept of rewriting history. Oh my God. I remember when they started putting bullets into Hitler. I'm thinking to myself, this isn't real, guys. You can't do this.
I know, it was great.
Quentin Tarantino land.
Yeah, at the end when it all went to shit, was like, wow, and Hans Landa, oh my God, he was just that role. There's nobody but him who could pull that role off.
Oh, Christoph Waltz has not one but two Oscars working for Quentin Tarantino. He's brilliant. There's certain types of roles that he does fantastically.
The way he goes from language to language so fluently, and he goes from this menacing air, where he's just like, your skin's crawling because this guy is just like watching everything like a hawk. Mm-hmm. And, I tell you, walking around Amsterdam a couple of times late at night, like walking from where the Bulldog is and all these other places you go smoke and drink beer and hang out at clubs, walking through the streets of Amsterdam at 1 a.m, gets fucking spooky, man. I'm just telling you, it's like any city, of course, but you're not as inclined to get mugged there. You're more inclined in Amsterdam to get pickpocketed somewhere. But, there was a bar that I used to go to on my way home from dinner and out fucking around, doing whatever I was doing, seeing a band. And I'd go by this bar because you can't smoke weed in a brown bar. This bar has been there since like 1910. World War I and World War II, both times there was Germans quartered there who were in this bar partying. They don't put pictures of those up on the wall anymore. But I remember being having a nice buzz, and of course I'm reading a history book about the history of World War II in that area, and I'm reading it, and it's like it's spooky, man. I thought to myself, I'm walking through the streets, and you think back 60 years ago. You'd be walking through the streets alone at night. You might get jumped by 6 or 8 the other Nazis running around the streets. Be terrifying shit, And I remember walking home and picking up my pace, just feeling so spooked out because I was in this bar, and like I said, you can smoke cigarettes and you can drink beer. And I can tell you, if I walked in there tomorrow, they'd be like, "Hey, you want a whiskey?" I'd be like, "No, I don't need that right now." But they serve food. It's different than here in the States. They bring around food like chicken wings and shit. You don't buy it. It's just part of the tradition in these. They call them brown bars. Some of them are 150, years old. They're like some of our places in New York City down, in Battery Park area, saloons and stuff. It's pretty cool. You can go sit down where, Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine and all these other people were hanging out back in the 1700s. It's a pretty cool thing about New York. Speaking of New York, we got a new mayor. What? God, I don't know what to say about that.
You said no politics.
I know that we just went down into the cesspool and groveled in it. We didn't just jump our toe in. We just wallowed in it. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I won't get into it other than this. We live in the fucking wackiest. You know what's the most scary thing about him getting elected? That leaves open the potential that I could get elected. And if I could get elected, when Neil is king, New York will swing. Let me tell you, people. We're gonna get it rolling, man. None of this talking, fucking, and no assholes praying in the streets. I'm sorry, I don't care where you come from. Billy Graham, you're fucked too, all of you. It's none of that
The thing
shit.
about him
Blocking
getting
traffic.
elected, the way I view that, what is interesting about him getting elected is that it proves that in this day and age, first off, if you have a good gift of gab on social media, you can do just about anything. And secondly,
you can do anything.
Yeah, and secondly, it also tells me that at least in New York, that it's probably almost impossible at this time for a Republican to get elected to anything.
Yeah.
And Zohar Mamdani won 51% of the vote in a city that has probably about 15 to 20% of its voting population. Turn that off. About 15 to 20% of the voting population in New York is Jewish. They know he's an anti-Semite, and a lot of them voted for him anyway.
I have friends, and I don't understand that. It doesn't. People vote against their own interests sometimes. You can't fathom it. It happens every election, no matter where you're at. People will vote.
I truly don't understand how the dots got connected with him. I realize that a lot of it is social media, and of course, he had some of the heavy hitters in the Democratic Party, Bernie and AOC and whoever else behind him. And yeah, you're absolutely right. There was a lot of money involved too, I'm sure.
Right. And then you have the Bernie bros. Those guys were all pissed off since fucking Hillary got the nomination. They haven't gotten any settled. They're kind of usually in the Moody Loners Club.
It's guys, it's 10 years ago. Get over it. The way she should get over Trump getting elected over her, but that's never going to happen either.
Well, that's another. Those two are like, remember, look at it this way. Even Bill doesn't want to be around her. I'll just go down to Arkansas. I'm going to go down to I'm going down to it's the library, and I'm going to sit and hang out, have some real intellectual discussions late into the evening with some young co-eds. Yeah, particularly the young co-eds.
Yeah, talking about which. You mentioned early in the show about Bill Gates contracting an STD.
An STD.
I don't think
allegedly.
It's an accident, personally, that right around the time that Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and all of the stories started coming out around Epstein Island, I don't think it's a coincidence that that's right around the time that Melinda Gates divorced Bill.
I have somebody who's second step from her. And I can tell you, you're absolutely right. I heard the dirt well before it hit the airwaves. It was like a pig fest, man. There's some gossip going around.
And that was a sham marriage anyway. Bill and Melinda got married because Bill Gates' mother thought that it was a good idea for a champion of American industry to have a wife.
Yeah. Well, he's not a handsome man.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say he's the ugliest person out there, but he's definitely not a fashion plate. Never was.
No, I mean, and you know, he's got a big, beautiful brain. Remember that, women. Don't go for looks, go for brains. Brains, guile, and the ability to keep you in a survival situation. Because remember, people, the next war, the last war, will be fought with sticks and box cutters. Be prepared. Win through superior firepower. Anyhow, that's my advice for anybody in the city over the weekend. Lock and load, be cool. Don't go down to the South Bronx anytime unless you have to. It's kind of funky there. Scrawny ass white boy like me doesn't stand a chance.
No, I'm not scrawny. I'm heavier, but I'm older, and I probably wouldn't survive very long either.
I think back to when I was a young person, some of the things I did in my various, we'll call them my personas. Yeah, that's a ticket. I'd call that one the dumbass at 16 or 14 or 12. When I figured out you could get on a fucking bus and be in the city in 40 minutes from Wyckoff, I was in there every weekend with my friends. My parents, I don't think they figured it out for a year or two. But boy, I'm so glad to be alive and okay. And then there was just shit back in the 70s that people don't have any idea what it's like. Times Square, for example, back in the 70s was just absolute shithole of prostitutes and bagmen and fucking transit cops arresting migrants on the bus. I mean, I've been on the bus and, you know, people think immigration's like new to enforce it. When I was a kid on the bus, I used to ride a lot back and forth to Pittsfield. I was going to boarding school. And when I'd ride up on the bus, it was great because I'd get to see how the other half lives, so to speak. And I remember looking at people in their life and thinking, God damn, I've got it made. I'm so lucky, you know. In fact, one day these cops came up to me. I had a guitar case in my backpack, and I'm waiting for the train. I'm just sitting there hanging. And, you know, I look like a long-haired, hippie, dope-smoking FM type. And they decided they'd come up and roust me. And they're like, come on, you're a runaway, aren't you? What's your name? We're going to run you, blah, blah, blah. I tell them my name, and, you know, I'm like, I'm not running away, dude. I'm on the way to boarding school. You know, I'm not leaving anything. And I couldn't tell them, you know, I have some blood in my pocket. You know, I'm going to get on the train and or the bus. But they let me go. And it was fairly entertaining. I also had you got to get ready to go. Are you okay, Bill? You need to go?
I'm just getting a cue. I had mentioned to you off air that my grandkids were supposed to be here today. And I was told earlier that wasn't going to happen, and it turned out that they changed their plans yet again. So they're in the house upstairs.
Right. Excellent. Well, you know, thank you for joining me, because grandkids are, you know, certainly the best blessing in life, because you can always send them home with mom. No, I'm kidding.
True.
But, you know, grandparenting is awesome. Definitely.
But I probably will need to sign off, given that I apologize for the short notice. But
that's okay. Hey, man, take care of family. Absolutely. Good to see you. And I know you're going to be dog-ass tired on Sunday after being up in the drive and all that fun stuff to load in. We'll talk next week.
All right. That sounds cool. And don't worry about Sunday, because I do have a fair amount that I will need to get done on Sunday with the radio show and the YouTube channel. Sunday is going to be my day for doing a shitload worth of editing.
Great. What are you using, Logic? Or what do you...
Oh, I go back and forth between Caden Live for the video, Reaper for the audio, Audacity for the audio.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll have to talk. I'm curious about your workflow. Well, for all you people out there, I'm picking his brain, because video editing is something, it's like, just like audio. It's, you know, it goes back and forth, nonlinear video editing. It's fun. But, you know, there's always little tricks to learn from other people in their workflow.
Yeah, Caden Live is cool if you haven't played with it, and it's free.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, you know, for those of you watching, say goodbye. Bill, we'll see you next week. Have a great gig tomorrow. And hats off. The new year is off and running.
All right. It's a pleasure, my friend. You take good care.
Always. You too. All right, folks. So we're here. We'll see if any breaking news. Remember, it's Friday and it is 10 till 5. So get out of here. It is time where if anybody has a big story to drop and they don't want people to watch it, this is the time they drop it on the news. So if you're out there watching the news, remember, if a politician is talking, their lips are moving, they're lying. Listen, trust, but verify. And I don't know, have a great weekend. I hope everybody's feeling good. And we're going to get out of here with an old ending that we made like 10 years ago. Thanks for watching. Maybe this is it. Have a great one. We'll be on Live with Neve next Friday at 4 p.m. Take it easy, peeps.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching. We'll see you next week, Live with Neve.
Oh,